All right, well, quick history on this car. I first seen this car in 2006 at the first generation Monte Carlo Club Eastern meet. A guy by the name of Winfred Owens owned this car, and he lived in Alabama. And I was 14 years old at the time. And I was amazed by this because it was the only, only Monte Carlo convertible that I'd ever seen in person, because they never built a Monte Carlo convertible. I don't care what aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, fathers, friend that said they had one, or they didn't make one, period. So sorry to crush your childhood dreams. They did not make a Monte Carlo convertible from the factory. There were a few, I think, sent out to American Sunroof where the title was able to be legally changed to say convertible. But I have not seen one of those in person. But more back on this car. I also seen this car in 2012 at the Eastern meet for the club in Hiwassee. And Winfred still owned the car. Well, unfortunately, about 3 years ago, I seen the car pop up for sale. And we had the Eastern meet in 2017 back in Hiwassee. And I wondered, kind of why he wouldn't have been there. So, well, the reason is because he passed away. So, Winfred built this car, and he used a 71 Chevelle and used all of this stuff here off a 71 Chevelle, all the mechanism and everything. And that's how he built this car. So it's built just as if GM had done it. The frame is boxed. So little did I know, almost 15 years ago, that I would be restoring this car. Basically, I was 14 at the time, so about that much time would elapse, and I would be restoring this car. The car is now owned by a guy in Kentucky who's also a member of the club, and we're gonna do the paint and the body, and the car's got lacquer on it, and I'm starting to see some things I don't really like. And we're gonna get this chrome off, and we're gonna see if thing needs to be stripped with a mobile blaster, or I can get away with preserving what's here. But that time will tell on that. Being as the car was restored 30 years ago, I'm gonna say 30 years ago, any shocky body work that would have been done would be popping out by now. So this type of stuff is not bad work. This is just simply lacquer paint that's cracking. They use factory type lacquer on this car. So I just wanted to do a video to show kind of a before picture, a before video, and I'll be doing several videos in the midst of the restoration. And just kind of wanted to show you the car and give a brief overview of it. And I'll probably also be sharing this on the website, club website. That a lot of people saw this car back in the day, and I'll be anxious to follow along as we restore this car. My plan, I'm gonna de-trim it, take all the chrome off, either partially strip or have the car fully stripped. Time will tell on that. And doors off, hood off, fenders off, and paint the jams. And the car is kind of wavy down the side. The car is the body seems to be okay, but just kind of wavy down the side. Not terribly bad, but needs to be straighter for a dark color. So we're gonna straighten that out, and probably 100 to 200 hours. There's gonna be some time. I'm gonna calculate my time a little differently on this car. I'm gonna keep up with the time. Taking the car apart, the trim off, and then I won't start the actual body work hour total until the char is de-trimmed and I start on body work itself. So it's pretty nice under the hood. We're gonna have to do our best to conserve that. I'm gonna also suggest to the new owner, the owner of this car, that we do a little restoration under the hood with some of the air cleaner and maybe some of the radiator top plates and things of that nature to freshen it up. And as I come across anything that I think needs to be replaced, like this hood spear, I'm going to suggest replacement. and just use my best judgment and go along with it. So a few things about the car. Car has a few cool options. It's got the tack and the gauge dash. It's got a power convertible top. It's got washer fluid fiber optic, and it's got a AM FM stereo 8-track radio, which is an extremely rare radio for 1970. Power windows, no power locks. So we got some nonsense to deal with when taking the doors off, but this is what it is. So anyway, I'm looking forward to working on this car. We got the fender skirts in here to paint the correct color of the car. What we'll be doing, for reference, if you want to go back in my channel to the 35,000 mile car I bought and sold last year, the one that was caved in the side here, that I was able to fix and send off to a new home in Massachusetts, I was able to find a new Toyota color, putting it over a black bottom coat, and it basically recreated a modern twist on this black cherry that you see here. This is 1970 black cherry. Up in the 80s, you had an 80s black cherry that was a much darker. It was more like a dark cherry, more like a lot more black in it. This is basically glorified burgundy. But I could see why they call this cherry, because in certain lights, you really get a more of a stronger red hue. I personally think the newer color is a prettier color than this, and it really livens the car up. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, 1970 Monte Carlo convertible that was built in the late 80s, early 1990s by a guy in Alabama named Winfred Owens. And I had the pleasure to meet him several times. He was a really nice guy. He's definitely missed. He was, I think he passed away of cancer. Don't know what type, but anyway, so that's it. What we're going to do now is we're going to finish up the 442 project of what I've got to do at this point, and put the vintage air in and cut the paint with 600 to let the clear cure well. And then the car is going to go back home and get roadworthy and running. And then I'm going to final cut and buff probably in a few months. And that'll be the last you see of the Cutlass for a while. So this is the next project in line. If you watch any of my videos and you're in the southeast area or anywhere, and you want your Monte Carlo restored, you can reach out to me on the comments, and I can get you my contact information. And I'm not too hard to find, but we'll go from there. So all my work is hourly plus material, and just want to put that out there. I know restoration people are hard to come by, so this guy's actually from Kentucky, and he brought this thing about 7 hours down here to get fixed. So I guess I'm doing something right. We will see y'all next time. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you enjoy the progress of this 70 convertible. Kind of cool to be able to do a car that, you know, was actually at my first Club Eastern meet, which is kind of neat. So see you next time.